So let's begin in the name of our beloved Imam. May we all enjoy this interaction this wonderful afternoon. The overview, me and Dr. Rubina Barolia are going to be sharing and exploring with you the colors of Allah, Sibghstulla, and we will explore it physically as well as spiritual colors, especially the importance of coloring our own personal world. So we'll look at what is color. We will look at the philosophy of color, and then Dr. Rubina is going to talk to us about the importance of color in the personal world. We'll look at how the throne, the Arsh of Allah, is made up of 4 colors. We will then understand.
You can please share your screen. We can't see your screen.
Oh, you can't see? Oh, thanks. So, thank you. Thanks, Ruby. Now can you see?
No, you can't see it, Yasmin, not yet.
Oh, okay, thanks. Thank you. Yeah, you too. Thanks for sending the share link again. Now you can see, yeah?
Yeah, now, yeah.
Okay, great, thanks. All right, so it's really, it's going to be a beautiful exploration, and hopefully it will also be thought-provoking. And why doesn't it like this? 1 second, sorry. It's not allowing me to. Okay. All right. So, all right. Okay, so Sibghstulla, colors of Allah. Sibghstulla has the same root word as the word Sibgha, Sibghatu, and Sibgun or Sibg. Okay, and Sibghstulla, we all know colors of Allah. Sibgha is to transform. Sibghstulla, the way of coloring. Okay, the way of coloring. And Sibgun or Sibg is to deep, to immerse, to dive. So this concept actually is also found in baptism, right? In the Christian faith, where actually the newborn baby is, or even adults, actually there's water sprinkled on their forehead, or actually in the example of the babies where they're given a new name, the baby's dipped into the water. Yeah, so the whole idea is to go away from the physical into the spiritual, that when we are dipped in the color of God, then it cleanses us, we come closer to Him, and there are so many other benefits of it. Who can guess what this is? So for here now, it would be really great if everyone can unmute and also please tell us who is the artist here. Who can guess?
I don't know about an artist, but looks like a crow. It's an abstract painting of a farm, maybe.
Okay, all right. So anyone else who would like to guess what this is? Thank you, Jasmine. That was great.
Is it painted by Gulji?
Gulji, okay. Let's see. Anyone else wants to take a guess whose art this is?
Yasmin Karim.
Thank you, Aslim. I guess it gave away, right? That's right. This was my art. It was a tricky question. All right. Great to hear you, Aslim. Oops. All right. This one. Who's the artist here? So the friend, yeah, please go ahead. Any guesses?
Gilani? Or you?
No, this is the Gulji's work. So the friend who, who is familiar with Gulji's work. So this actually is the original Gulji painting. And I would like to show you this video. And while we are watching this video, I would like all of us to think about, is sound color?
Process ensures your gutters.
Is sound color? Yeah, so can you see my video, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. All right. Okay, here we go. So this was actually at the Arkan University inauguration.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم فأصبحتم بنعمته إخوانا صدق الله العلي العظيم. بسم الله.
Okay, great. So I'm sure most of you must have recognized the ayat that was recited, right? It is Surah Al Imran 3, ayat 103. Hold fast to the rope of God. And most of you may also remember that it is actually part of the logo of the Aga Khan University. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you were reflecting on color while you were watching it, the sound, light, words. All right, so a little bit of a review, recap from last time, or that remember the rule of thirds. Everything always has three meanings or three layers. The body, soul, intellect. You remember that the human being is actually the junction, right, between the spiritual and the intellectual world. May I request someone to please read this beautiful farman or speech of Hazrat Imam?
Ya Ali Madad, would you like me to read this?
Sure.
Nur Maulana Shah Karim Al Hussaini, Hazrat Imam, may peace be upon him. At the Aga Khan Club, Nairobi, Kenya, October 22nd, 1957. The life of a poor man with faith is more valuable than the life of a rich man with none. Each Jamaat is composed of a number of individuals, and it is they who will ultimately color and influence the community as a whole.
Thank you so much, Aziz Rajbari. So we see in this slide that Haji Imam is actually making a connection, right, of faith. That person who has faith, his life is more valuable. And then he's making a connection of colors with faith indirectly, because he said it is they who will ultimately, so those individuals who have faith will ultimately color and influence the community as a whole, right? So what is the color of color here, right? So all of a sudden we now are moving away in this beautiful saying of Hajj Imam, that color is more than just what physically appears to be, right? Color here is the color of ethics, color of our values, and so much more. So the uniqueness of Allah's color is, as we just mentioned, that in one of the Quranic ayats, light is referred to as Sibghstulla, right? And who is better than Allah in coloring, and what does this color look like? So in the physical world, everything around us, all the elegancies, all the beauties, everything, all things that are colorful actually belong to God Himself. But this physical world, the things around us which actually inform us and give us knowledge of our environment, all these things are still lifeless as compared to spiritual colors. Yeah. So physical color is a symbol. Imagine the greatness and the beauty and the radiance of and the energy of the physical color is so amazing and mesmerizing. Then how would the beauty of spiritual colors manifest, right? So in the personal world, the spiritual colors are unique and they are hidden in the form of guidance, in the form of the light of guidance, light of submission, light of faith, spirituality, recognition, companionship on high. This, most of you may remember, it was the prayer of a holy prophet, remember? Companionship on high. And then the most important aspect for us also is the light of the hidden invisible light. And the realization that ultimate light, the highest realm of light or color actually is colorless. There is no color, right? So then with reference to the Holy Quran, light is color, and with reference to Imam's words, color, faith is color. The power of color. So when we understand color psychology with depth, it can change how we see and enjoy nature around us, which itself is ever changing, right? And color identifies objects that are located in space. Color shows the appearance of objects, and thus it is a means of acquiring knowledge of the physical world and the environment we are in. The question, however, is, do we see things as they really are? Yeah. Do physical objects really have color? Is the sky really blue? Can we see all the colors at sunrise because there's no pollution and therefore there are no particles that are dispersing color, right? So as the eye sees beautiful colors, an immediate feeling of pleasure is felt, right? And but when the eye turns away, the effects are forgotten. The first encounter of light, color, does not touch our soul. However, the superficial impression of colors can start a whole chain of inner sensations. And a more spiritual person can feel color deeply with intense movements. This quotation by Wesley Kandinsky summarizes it so beautifully. Color is a power which directly influences the soul. And we will see when Dr. Rubina Barolia explains spiritual colors, how actually impactful it is on our soul. The human eye, it's an amazing wonder in itself, but the eye perceives the outer and the surface of things only, not the inner essence. Moreover, it perceives only their shapes and their forms, but not the inner nature of color. Al-Ghazali says this, right? And when we again look at this Sibghstulla, colors of Allah, and what is this color like, we see that in comparison to the physical world, Sibghstulla, color of God, is actually extremely pleasing, it's faith illuminating, soul nourishing, it's miraculous. And we realize that actually light, if the sunlight is coming to us, right? We know that light is the fastest thing in the universe. 300 million meters it travels, and it is reaching our eyes. It's not that our eyes are reaching the sunlight, and therefore we actually see everything in the past tense, right? And that's one of the reasons why light appears continuous to us, even though it's flickering every second. So when we compare the physical light with the spiritual light, what a huge, incomparable realm we enter into, right? So the physical light is so beneficial. When we are in sunlight, we don't feel the sun. I mean, we may feel the heat, but we are not aware at the same time that this sunlight actually is giving us vitamin D and so many other benefits. So if the physical light has so many benefits, what about the spiritual light, right? The spiritual light, it's possible that every single ray of spiritual light actually may have 99 attributes of Allah, or it may have all the attributes of the 49 Imams. And so it is just so amazingly vast and so beautiful. Again, as we had seen previously, that light is color and color is light, and so they are, and light literally means brightness, right? So spiritually, it is the perfect and supreme guidance. So in the example of Salawat, when we recite Salawat, we are actually receiving light in these three forms, right? So the physical light, which gives us high ambition and courage, the most important value of ours, which is honesty, truth, integrity. Spiritually, it gives us yearning for bandi and ibadat, leads us to success. Intellectually, it inspires us, leads us to better and higher, clearer understandings of the secrets of the world of religion, and also the world of, also this physical world, right? In this diagram here, we see that in the visible spectrum, right? There are the 7 colors of the spectrum, the rainbow colors. So again, it's really interesting that contemporary research or contemporary studies are actually telling us that light is neither a wave nor particle, it's both simultaneously. So again, just make a comparison with the spiritual light, yeah? And in this visible spectrum, actually is the works of Einstein, but before him we had Euclid, who actually came up with the idea that light travels straight. After him, Ibn Haytham came and he basically reversed Euclid's idea, and he says that the eye is actually the receiver of light. And then following that, we have Isaac Newton's idea of splitting the visible spectrum, right, which is actually the electromagnetic spectrum of light. And it's interesting that when light is traveling in air, it travels straight and at the same speed. But when it hits a prism or a water molecule, for example, it reflects. And therefore, we actually have rainbows. That's how we have rainbows, right? It's very, very interesting and intriguing, actually. Light is compared to fire in Surah Namal, and it's beautiful to also realize here that all the attributes of this hard rock iron actually change. The very nature of it changes, the color changes, everything changes, right? So again, imagine Sibghstulla. We come to philosophy of colors, and we see that aesthetically color has been used visually, emotionally, symbolically. And in this prehistoric cave painting, we see there are different earth tones used. And historically also, we see that color is used basically to identify groups and also to showcase the different religious and mythological ideas. Color psychology actually has been evolved from color theory, and this beautiful diagram here that we see is actually comparing different temperatures. So Goethe and Schiller, German philosophers, actually created this diagram here, or the color wheel, and they are actually showing us different temperatures, different color temperatures. So how does color affect us? How does color affect our behavior, our mood? Moving on, color actually is affecting each one of us positively, negatively, whether we are aware of it or not, doesn't matter. Color still has an effect on us. And symbolically, the symbology of color is always within the cultural context. And in the Chinese culture, red actually is good luck. Whereas in the South African culture, red is the color of mourning. White, in contrast, is the color of mourning for the Chinese. But also in our culture, I think many of us, we use white, you know, when attending funerals or ceremonies. And that's not actually for any other reason other than to express the beauty of perfection of the life hereafter. I would propose that. So we mentioned, okay, Johannes Eaton actually is the first pioneer, even though Goethe and Schiller designed the diagram. That was in, they did this in 1800s. No, sorry, 1776, right? That's when they came up with this. But actually, it is Johannes Eaton who actually pioneered this theory, the color theory. And how beautifully he says that he who wants to become a master of color must see, feel, experience each individual color. Colors must have a mystical capacity for spiritual expression without being tied up to objects. So when we look at this red color, what does it make? You know, how do we see it? Is it exciting? Is it juicy? Does it make us fearful? Does it give us a feeling of spiritual harmony? It's very, very interesting. And also the question that does color really exist, right? When we shine different tones of color on an apple, we see that it will reflect those colors. But when we shine pure light, pure sunlight on an apple, the red color is going to be really vivid and it will be really beautiful red color. So is it because the apple is reflecting the red color and absorbing every other color? That's why we see red, right? So those are all beautiful, intriguing questions. So now I would like to invite Dr. Rubina to please walk us through the Quranic philosophy of spiritual colors. And you will need to share your screen with us. I'm going to exit out of here.
Thank you, Yasmin. You have beautifully explained actually the philosophy of colors. I am trying to share my screen here. Okay, so can you all see?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And if I go to slideshow, yes. So it is very important that we understand the concept of color or any other concept, any other phenomena which is very close to us, which is spiritually connected in three ways, or look at things in three kind of dimension, which is called Kitabe Kainat, Kitabe Nafsi, and Kitabullah, which is a book of nature. Kitabullah is Quran, and Kitabe Nafsi is book of, like, it's yourself, which is personal world. So whatever is there in the nature, a book of nature, it's similar things are explained in Quran, which is the book of, somebody asked me to put on my camera. So I don't know whether I'm visible or not. Okay, so then the similar things are in our personal world as well. And the same kind of concepts are explained in Quran. So it is very important that if we want to understand any concept, any phenomena like the color, like health, or any other phenomena which is very close to ourselves, we can have a three aspect where we can search what is it. So if we talk about color, then definitely we have seen color in the nature, we like color, we attract with the color. Even if you see most of animals and even children, a kid, they all like beautiful colors. So this is the nature which has given us the strength to attract to the color. And if you go to Kitabullah, there are 7 colors, kind of colors are explained in the book, which I'll explain later. And even in the personal world, how this color actually can be transformed into what Yasmin is explaining, a light, which is also called Noor. So this, if we see this Quranic philosophy of color in Surah Baqarah, where it says, when Allah says, Sibghatullahi wa man ahsana minallahi sibghata wa nahnu lahu abidun. Color of Allah, and who is better than color of Allah, and God, Allah at coloring. So that means Allah has one characteristics of coloring. And there are a few questions arises that what is the color of Allah? Because here it says that the color of Allah is the best color of Allah. Who is better than the color of Allah? So what is the color of Allah? Have we seen Allah's color? So that is very important to ponder and to think, reflect about the color of Allah, color of soul. And also Allah is saying that Allah is good at coloring. He is very good at coloring, means He can color us. He can give us our spiritual, He can give us the energy so that we can make ourselves colored in the Allah's Noor. So this is very important concept. This concept can be understood by Imam Zainul Abidin quotation, where in Kitab al-Zina, page 153, it's Imam Zainul Abidin is saying that Allah has made his arsh or throne in a different color or a light or a anwar. And when he colored his arsh or throne with a green color or a green noor, then green color came in this world. When he made his arsh in yellow color brought into this world. When his arsh was with a red noor or a red color, then red color came into this world. So that means, and in the end, he said that, and when Allah has colored his arsh with white color, which is the brightness, then the brightness appeared in the world, and white color is the collective color of the color, which is called Nurul Anwar. So these are the terms which our Peer, Dais, Buzurg, and even in Ginan, it has been used, Nurul Anwar, and you will see there are a lot of hadiths, there are a lot of ayat where this Nur and Nurul Anwar concept are there in context of color. So then these are few Quranic verses. There are many Quranic verses you will find where you see that these colors are mentioned in Holy Quran. Like for example, so do you not see that Allah sends down rain from the sky, with which we bring forth fruits of different colors, and in the mountains are the streaks of varying shades of white, red, and black. So this is Surah Fatir, which is the 35 Surah, chapter 35 and ayah 27, where he has mentioned, Allah has mentioned white, red, and black color. Though there are multiple interpretation, which I'm not going to go into detail, but just mentioning here that there are various colors, almost 7 colors mentioned in Quran. And the second ayat is about the virtuous people dressed in green silk cloth, and it's basically giving the green colored dress which people in the paradise will wear. So that explanation is also there in multiple ayahs. There is one more explanation is about call upon your Lord to specify for us its color. He replied, Allah says it should be a bright yellow cow, pleasant to see. This is basically the verse from Hazrat Musa's story, that how from Musa's story, esoteric meaning, we can transform ourselves and color with the color of Mawla, color of Allah. So let's see what is the story here. So the story talks about 4 kinds of lights or 4 kinds of color. And in Arabic, the yellow nur, which is Nurul Afsar, red nur is Nurul Ahmar, green nur is Nurul Akhzar. Akhzar, it comes from Khizar, and Noor-e Abyas, which is white nur, and this is the collective nur, Nurul Anwar. So the stories goes from yellow nur to red nur to green nur to white nur. But these explanation, it's not, you will not be able to identify these explanation in the physical story, but in the light of esoteric meaning, these nur has been explained in context of personal world. So in this surah, when Musa went to Kohe-Tur and did kalam or talk or conversation with Allah, then he came back. He sees that people were asking a lot of questions to Musa, and there was incident happened that man was killed, a rich man was killed. This is like physical stories which you will find in many of the tafsir. That a person was killed by someone and he left a lot of wealth to his young boy. His cousins were like envied upon his this luck, and then they actually killed that boy. And then the neighbors and the other cousins and the other family members, they gathered and they said that we need to find out that who is the murderer and who killed this little boy. So they went to Musa and they said that, Musa, you just had a conversation with Allah. So now, please tell us that who murdered this boy. You ask your God and then find out who the name of the murderer. So then Musa initially refuses, but then people insisted. Then this ayat, in this ayat, this is explained that, and remember when Moses said to his people, Allah commands you to sacrifice a cow. They replied, are you mocking? Moses responded, I seek refuges in Allah from acting foolishly. So here the conversation in the story starts that Allah commands you to sacrifice a cow. And then when they sacrifice the cow, you take a flesh of that sacrificed cow and then touch on the boy. The boy will be alive and then boy will tell you the name of the murderer. So this is the whole story. But then if you read other verses, they say that which kind of cow. So they want Musa to identify particular characteristic of the cow, because there are a lot of cow, which one to slaughter or which one to sacrifice. So they said that call upon your Lord to clarify for us what type of cow it should be. He replied, Allah says the cow should neither be old nor young, but in between. And then they again say, they said that, okay, what color of the cow is? So Allah says that it should be bright yellow cow, pleasant to see. And then again they call upon your Lord to so that he makes clear to us which cow. For us, all of cow looks the same. Then again Allah replied that it should be not used so heavily till the soil or the water in the field. And they said that now you have come to the truth, yet they slaughtered it hesitantly. And remember when you killed a man and fell into dispute among yourself as to the crime, but Allah brought forth that which you were hiding. So we said, strike him, the dead man, with a piece of the cow, and then the dead man will alive. And in this way, Allah bring the dead life and shows that His ayat to you, that you may understand. So this is just a physical story, but we need to reflect on the story that this is the way at the time where Musa was asking Allah what to do, what not to do, how we can identify who is the murderer. So, is this a mu'jiza? Is this a particular miracle given to Musa only? Or what about other prophets? What about present time? So this reflection gives us to think think deeply that what this story tells to me, to the personal world, how I connect this story, that okay, this is one time story, now what will happen in the present time. So is this a usual practice for the prophet to find out the name of the murderer, and what cows means, what is the characteristic of cow. So this is basically the lesson of struggle, sacrifice of moment, and then receiving blessing and receiving reward from Allah. So if we go through the first ayat, which is about when the people have asked that which color the cow is, then Allah said that it is of yellow color, and which is pleasing to you. So when you do a lot of struggle, and when you devote yourself, you actually slaughter your carnal soul. You sacrifice, you do a lot of sacrifices to attain Maula's love. You do a lot of sacrifices, whatever sacrifice of time, sacrifice of energy, your own capacity, sacrificing money. So there are a lot of other things to sacrifice for the sake of love of Maula. So when you do that much struggle and you reach at that time, so that you look kind of pale. So if physically it is it gives you a sense of a pale person who do a lot of struggle and who go to a lot of sacrifices, and then but it is very pleasing inside your heart. It is very peaceful inside your heart. So that peace, that pleasing is within yourself. And this is when you do a lot of sacrifice of your time, energy, money for the sake of love of Maula or Jamaat Khana or any other Momin you help, and you do a lot of struggle. So that means that you are actually attaining yellow nur. Then when the time comes when you do a lot of ibadat, bandagi, and you eat less, you sleep less, and then with that struggle, you attend mutu kabalanta mutu stage, where you the stage of die before the physical death. And this is a very important concept in the spirituality as a whole, where Momin, when enters into the spiritual world, or when it goes to the path of the spirituality, a time comes when he like he kill his carnal soul, and that killing is actually the red nur, or this sacrifice is basically the red nur, and this red nur you achieve with for the sake of Maula's love. So now your yellow nur is transformed into red nur, and then after you sacrifice yourself, you die before your physical death, you will, or in other words, you inhalate yourself in Maula's nur. Basically, your nur and Maula's nur gets one, and you attain, or maybe you enter into the paradise. When you enter into the paradise is green. You will be given a green shirt, or maybe you given a life. So that's where it's Noor-e Akhzar, which comes from Hazrat Khizr, which was given immortal life, where you inhalate in Imam, and then you see yourself in Imam, ever living, ever present. So that's where this is the utmost level where you fana, when you sacrifice your carnal soul and get reward or award, and alive and get Noor-e Akhzar, which is a green light. You enter into the greenery in paradise. Green light also means in our Buzurgan-e-Deen or Pir Nasir Khusro's Wajh-e-Deen, that green also reflects that you will be given lot of ilmi kind of daulat, ilmi kind of as a money. You will be given lot of ilmi particles or tawil of ilm, Qurani ilm, farman, and all those kind of canvas. Your canvas of thought process will be increased. So, and then later on, your journey doesn't stop here. Your journey doesn't stop here, but it goes further, and you still go further, and you will be attaining a pearl of intellect. So that pearl of intellect, Pir Nasir Khusro says that this is the world of ilm and tawil. So you will be given a tawili ilm, you will be given a Quranic ilm and deeper interpretation of faith. You will be given a deeper interpretation of Farman, a deeper interpretation of the nature. And that's where you can connect with nature, what is there in the nature, what is there in the holy book, and what is there in your personal world. You can conquer your personal world, and you can enter into your personal world, and you will be given wonders and marvels which is there in the personal world, wonders and marvels which is there in the nature. So that's where the pearl of intellect you will be getting it. And in the last Peer also, this slide is little bit, I don't know, sweet, but this is a Ginan from Peer Hassan Kabir Deen, where he says that I have experienced the divine love, which is Eji Lagari Re Preeta Hamane Hamana Choru, Darasira Karavata Angana Moru, Joji Vajave, Shah Kanamana Choru. Visaya het pai rangalago, Visaya pir pai rangalago, Visaya batusi, moro dil bandoji. So I have experienced the divine love. I will not leave it, even if a sword hangs over my head. I will not shake my body, even if I die. I will not abandon the name of Imam. And then here it's the color that oh Lord, through love I have attained the color. So this color is actually the colors and the light. And this goes from yellow to green, yellow to red to green, and in the end it's white, which is the ball of intellect or the collective color of the colors. And that's how Maula actually transform ourselves. And when Imam Zainul Abidin has said that when Arsh was made into different color, that Arsh is actually made in our personal world, in our heart. So the meaning of this farman was that you make Arsh in your heart, where Mola will come and sit. So you decorate your heart, you decorate your Arsh with yellow noor, with red noor, with green noor, and then you will be given eventually the white noor, which is the pearl of intellect, and then Maula will come into your heart and sit into your heart. So you prepare yourself with those colors, and slowly and gradually, with all these struggle and ibadat and divine love, you may attain, you may transform yourself, and you slowly and gradually attain these colors or these noors. So that's a little explanation which I thought that's very important, and I always like this explanation, so I thought I can share with you. So with that, thank you very much. Yasmin, you can carry on with your other slides, please.
I think we'll end here because it only gives us 10 minutes for Q&A, but maybe I can just put the summary on, sure. So I need I need the okay to share. Thank you. All right. So I think also it's a good transition. We can, so I guess we covered how we can, why is it important for us to be colored in Allah's color, right? We looked at that. We looked at how the color of love is actually the color of Nur, which is supreme guidance. And here the concepts of Fana, Filla, and Bakabillah, survival in God, are very important also, because it makes us realize that the ultimate purpose of the supreme guidance is to merge in the Nur. This is also very beautiful, that the revealed light is Nur-e Munazzal, which is the light of monoreality, which is the Imam of the time, the living light, right? There is a Quranic story, I'm not sure which verse it is, where God says that this is the blessed light. So just wanted to make a point here that by saying this is a blessed light, it doesn't refer to Allah, because Allah is Subhan, right? He is beyond being blessed light. So the Quran also is very clear when it talks about the blessed light. It actually refers to the vicegerent of Allah, which is after the Holy Prophet and Mawla Ali, the first Asas, today 49th Imam Nur Maulana Shakri Mursini Hazri Imam. And so this example which we had seen, right, fire and iron, where actually the iron takes up all the attributes of the fire. It's complete transformation. That is so very beautiful. And I think, you know, this is a journey of exploration, and, you know, it just gets more beautiful. The more we know, the less we know, and more questions we get, and then we go and do more search. So I'm just going to ask Dr. Rubina if you want to add anything at this point, but I will just leave it here.
या अली मदद रुबीना साहबा एक मरतबा फिर उर्दू के अंदर 4 कलर को क्विकली उसके एट्रीब्यूशन अगर आप बता सके, येलो, रेड, ग्रीन एंड व्हाइट प्लीज.
अच्छा, ओके. सो जब मूसा कोहे तूर से जब आए तो किसी शख्स को कत्ल किया गया और उसकी कातिल का पता नहीं लग रहा था कि किसने कत्ल किया. तो लोगों ने मूसा से पूछा कि आप अभी अल्लाह से कलाम करके आए हैं, तो यू एक्सप्लेन कि इसका ये बताएं, आप अल्लाह के पास जाएं और उनसे पूछें कलाम करके कि ये इसको किसने कत्ल किया है. तो मूसा ने पहले तो रेजिस्ट किया, फिर सारे लोगों ने फोर्स किया, तो उन्होंने पूछा कि उन्होंने कहा कि एक काऊ को, गाय को कत्ल करे और उसका जो फ्लैश है वो इस मकतूल यानी जो डेड बॉडी है उसको मारे तो वो जिंदा हो जाएगा और वो कातिल का नाम बताएगा. अब ये ज़ाहिरी स्टोरीज हैं, इसके पीछे एक तावील है, इसके पीछे एक्सप्लेनेशन, एसोटेरिक एक्सप्लेनेशन है. तो वो जो है ये कलर्स के बारे में कि वो पूछते हैं कि भाई काऊ का, गाय का कलर कैसा होना चाहिए. तो अल्लाह ने कहा कि इसका कलर येलो होना चाहिए और जो आपके लिए प्लीजिंग हो. तो अब येलो कलर जो है वो डिनोट करता है स्ट्रगल को और आप जो तकलीफें उठाते हैं. यू ईट लेस, यू स्लीप लेस. व्हेन यू ईट लेस, स्लीप लेस एंड डिवोट योर टाइम, सॉरी उर्दू में बोल रही हूँ, ये आप अपना जब कम खाते हैं और रियाजत करते, बेसिकली रियाजत इज द गुड वर्ड, या बहुत ज्यादा रियाजत करते हैं तो उस रियाजत के नतीजे में जाहिर सी बात है आपका चेहरा थोड़ा सा पेल जैसा भी होता है, बट वो पेल फिजिकली पेल या कोई हेल्थ रिलेटेड पेलनेस नहीं होती है, वो एक रियाजत का कलर है. तो जो रियाजत का कलर है वो रियाजत के कलर की वजह से वो आइडेंटिफाई या सिग्निफाई करता है कि वो आपको जो रियाजत की वजह से जो नूर मिल रहा है वो येलो नूर है. फिर इसके बाद जब ये रियाजत के नतीजे में मोमिन आगे से आगे जाता है तो वो मूतू कबलन तमूतू के एक स्टेज से गुजरता है, विच इज डाई बिफोर फिजिकल डेथ. तो वो मूतू कबलन तमूतू, जो फिजिकल डेथ से पहले अपने नफ्स को मारना कंप्लीटली, वो जब आपका नफ्स बिल्कुल मर जाता है, आपको किसी भी बुरी चीज पे नहीं उभारता है, तो उस वक्त जो है आप असल में कत्ल हो जाते हो, नफसानी तौर पे कत्ल हो जाते हो, लेकिन रूहानी तौर पर जिंदा हो जाते हो. तो जब आप कत्ल होते हो तो गोया वो रेड कलर इंडिकेट करता है या लाल कलर इंडिकेट करता है, क्योंकि ज़ाहिर लाल जो है वो खून की निशानी है, आपने अपना खून दिया है. और इसीलिए कहते हैं कि जब आप किसी को कोई मनी डोनेशन करते हैं या फंड रेजिंग करते हैं तो उसमें भी कोई किसी नेक काम के लिए, तो बेसिकली आप अपना खून दे रहे होते हैं, क्योंकि वो आपकी मेहनत की कमाई होती है, तो आपका खून डोनेट कर रहे होते हो. तो वो जो है वो आप अपना रेड, सेक्रीफाइस का कलर रेड है. फिर इसके बाद आपको उसके नतीजे में आपको एक बिहिश्त दी जाती है, ग्रीनरी दी जाती है, एक लाइफ दी जाती है. ग्रीन कलर इज द सिंबल ऑफ लाइफ. तो जब आपको वो लाइफ दी जाती है, मतलब कौन सी लाइफ, ये खिजर वाली लाइफ के वो इमोर्टल हो, जो कि आप फिजिकली मर गए लेकिन इमाम में जिंदा हो गए, और ये हमेशा जो है आप उसी नूर के अंदर जिंदा हो गए, जो कि ग्रीन लाइट है. उसके बाद भी जो है एक सालिक या एक मोमिन तरक्की करते करते जो है वो अपने आगे बढ़ता है और फिर इसको इल्म इनायत होता है, इल्म की एक दुनिया इनायत होती है, और उसको वो इल्म जो है वो इस अपनी वर्ल्ड के अंदर, अपने पर्सनल वर्ल्ड में, बाहर की दुनिया में, और जो होली बुक्स हैं वो जो कुछ भी लिखा गया उसकी तावीलात, उसकी एक्सप्लेनेशन, उसका कनेक्शन, वो सब एक मोती की सूरत में, एक इंटेलेक्ट की सूरत में उसको मिलता है, जो कि तमाम नूरों का, तमाम अनवार का जो है वो कलेक्शन है, विच इज वाइट लाइट और पर्ल ऑफ इंटेलेक्ट. तो आखिरी जो मकाम है वो पर्ल ऑफ इंटेलेक्ट है, जो कि एक मकाम पर, आखिरी मकाम पर दिया जाता है. تو یہ اس طرح سے 4 کلر. تو یہ کلرز جو ہے یہ بیسیکلی لائٹ ہے. تو آپ کسی بھی اسٹیج پہ اگر ریاضت کر رہے ہیں تو گویا آپ کو وہ یلو نور مل رہا ہے، کیونکہ امام نے فرمایا کہ میں نے عرش کو اس کلر سے کیا. تو آپ کے دل کے اندر ایک عرش ہے، آپ مولا کے لیے عرش بنائیں. آپ وہ عرش کو یلو کلر جب اسٹرگل کر رہے ہیں تو گویا آپ اپنے عرش کو جو ہے وہ یلو کلر میں کنورٹ کر رہے ہیں. تو آپ اپنے عرش کو سجائیں مولا کے انوار سے، ڈفرنٹ انوار سے سجائیں، اس کی قربت میں، اس کی محبت میں. جیسے گنان میں بھی جو ہے یہ انڈیکیٹ کیا گیا کہ میں تیری محبت کے رنگ میں رنگنا چاہتا ہوں. تو یہ دراصل رنگ میں رنگنا جو ہے وہ اس کے نور کے اندر شامل ہونا ہے، یا اس کے نور کو سلولی اینڈ گریجولی اٹین کرنا ہے.
سبحان اللہ، سبحان اللہ. This was more than sufficient. Thank you so much. اگر لائن پر اور کوئی کوشچن ہے تو برائے مہربانی اپنے آپ کو انمیوٹ کر کے پوچھ سکتے ہیں. If you have any question, please unmute yourself and ask. If we don't, let me thank Yasmin and Rubina Saiba. Just for the listeners' information, they will be back next week with the second part or the other lecture at the same time, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, Dallas time. They'll be back again next week. Thank you both. Ya Ali Madad. And please stand by. We have Zahir Lalani online with us with our next session. Thank you, everybody. Ya Ali Madad.